Janine Mello, and here on Celebrities Farm, we always look for stories that blend tradition, passion, and a touch of legend. Today we embark from Martin, Tennessee, USA to a place with a curiously suggestive name, the Lake Nowhere Mule and Donkey Farm. But believe me, this place is far from being nowhere. It is, in fact, the beating heart of the preservation of one of America's most historic and imposing donkey breeds, the American mammoth jackstock. And the first impression is that of a typical American rural property. But the history residing in these 110 acres, alongside a lake that was once an old holiday camp, is monumental. Acquired in 2004 by Deb and Jim Kidwell, a couple who traded urban life, she a former police officer, he a retired businessman for rural living. The farm was a project of love and restoration. They not only reclaimed the land, which was overgrown and disorderly, but also inherited an equine legacy dating back to the founding fathers of the United States. What draws us to Lake Nowhere and makes it a celebrity in the agricultural world is not just its number of animals, but its mission in life: to revive and strengthen the stock of donkeys and mules of the type that George Washington himself dreamed of. Washington, after the Revolutionary War, realized that America needed draft animals superior to horses, and it was he who initiated the breeding that would become the American mammoth jackstock. It is this pure lineage, this historical quality, that the Kidwells are dedicated to maintaining, transforming Lake Nowhere into a guardian of American tradition and a beacon of excellence in mule and donkey breeding. We are now going to delve into this universe, understand the importance of this breed, and meet the Jacks and Jennies who are true genetic celebrities. They represent the fusion between the necessity of an agricultural past and the passion for quality breeding in the present. Here at Lake Nowhere, the true treasure is the American Mammoth Jackstock Donkeys, or AMJ. I confess that I never imagined a donkey could carry so much historical and biological significance. To understand the scale of the farm's preservation work, we need to go back to 1786. At that time, newly independent America relied on draft animals, but horses were expensive and fragile for heavy work. The then General George Washington, a visionary and passionate farmer, saw the solution in the mule, the hybrid of a mare and a jack. The problem was that the donkeys, the fathers of the mule available in America, were small. Washington then received an Andalusian jack as a gift from King Charles III of Spain, and later a Maltese jack. By crossing these strong bloodlines, he laid the foundation for a new and exclusively American breed, the American Mammoth Jackstock. They are giants, often exceeding 15 hands high, about 60 inches at the withers, but with an incredibly gentle temperament and a robust bone structure, ideal for passing on strength and endurance to their offspring, the mules. Lake Nowhere is a global benchmark in preserving this lineage, maintaining strict genealogical records. Animals like Judah, one of their most famous jacks, carry the blood of historic bloodlines like Genesis and Preacher, following Washington's original dream. This dedication is not just a hobby. It is a conservation mission that ensures the unique characteristics of the AMJ, its longevity. Its enormous strength and its efficiency, they consume fewer calories and water than a horse in similar work, are not lost to history. Seeing these majestic animals up close, with their large ears and imposing stature, is witnessing a living piece of American agricultural history, something the General himself would be proud to see. Having met the father of this equation, the American Mammoth Jackstock, it's time to talk about the final star, the hybrid that George Washington valued so much, the mule. And here at Lake Nowhere, the breeding program focuses on using these giant jacks with mares of diverse breeds, such as quarter horses or gaited mares, to create superior quality saddle and draft mules. I learned that what appears to be stubbornness in the mule is actually incredible intelligence and a sharp self-preservation instinct, a trait inherited from the donkey that makes it immensely safer than a horse on dangerous trails. While a panicked horse might bolt and injure itself, the mule thinks before acting, but the mule's superiority doesn't stop at the mind. It is biological and economical. George Washington summarized the difference well. Horses eat too much, work too little, and die too young. The mule, on the other hand, is a prodigy of efficiency. Due to what is called hybrid vigor, they are notably more resistant to diseases than their equine parents, have tougher hooves, legs less prone to injury, and live considerably longer, with a greater working lifespan. In terms of cost effectiveness, the difference is stark. Mules and donkeys can live on 25% less caloric requirement than a horse doing similar work, and they require less water. For farms and activities that demand long working hours or transport across rugged terrain, The mule's strength, sobriety, and economy place it in a unique performance category. Inheriting the speed and stature of the mare mother and the tenacity and intelligence of the jack father, Lake Nowhere, by providing purebred AMJ jacks, ensures that these mules will inherit not only tenacity but also impressive size, continuing the American tradition of the ultimate working animal. The Lake Nowhere Mule and Donkey Farm is not just a preservation sanctuary. It is an international business hub, and this cements its place as a true celebrity in the agricultural world. Deb and Jim Kidwell's vision extends far beyond Tennessee, reaching breeders and enthusiasts across the globe. What makes their program so sought after is the unwavering commitment to the American mammoth jackstock lineage and temperament. They not only produce high-quality jacks and mules, but have also become pioneering exporters. I recall reading about the historic milestones they achieved, such as sending the first AMJ to Israel in 2012, and more recently opening markets in China. This proves that genetic excellence transcends borders. When a country like China, with its vast history of using donkeys and mules, imports a jackstock directly from Lake Nowhere, it is a direct acknowledgement of the lineage's purity and the quality of their management. Lake Nowhere's market is highly segmented. They sell not only the AMJ jacks to be used as studs in other breeding programs, but also elite saddle and draft mules, animals that are handled and socialized daily from birth as part of their training protocol. This careful handling ensures that when they leave the farm, they are reliable and docile working horses, or rather donkeys and mules. Selling abroad involves complex logistics, including rigorous health certifications and international transport, which underscores the reputation and trust the farm has built. Lake Nowhere is, therefore, much more than a family farm. It is a living embassy for America's genetic heritage of donkeys and mules. For Lake Nowhere to produce mules and donkeys of remarkable lineage, genetics is only half the story. The other half is daily management, and I was impressed by their work philosophy focused on patience and consistency. They deeply understand that an animal's reputation, especially for mules and donkeys, which are so intelligent, is built from the first days of life. Here at Lake Nowhere, training starts early. The foals, both the AMJ jack foals and the mule foals, are introduced to the halter 2 or 3 days after birth. This daily, gentle handling carried out by the farm staff ensures that the animals become accustomed to human presence and grow up calm and reliable. This early socialization is crucial, especially for mules, whose strong self-preservation instinct requires them to fully trust their handler. The philosophy is clear. Force does not work with a donkey or mule. Intelligence and trust do. Over time, this careful management not only results in animals that are easier to train for saddle and draft work, but also contributes to their longevity and mental health. Furthermore, physical health is a priority. The farm prides itself on having hardy animals with the famous resistance of donkeys and mules to diseases, which drastically reduces the need for frequent veterinary interventions, a notable contrast to many horse breeds. The feeding program is adapted to the more modest needs of donkeys and mules, who thrive on quality forage-based diets. Lake Nowhere's continued success at regional shows and fairs, winning awards for conformation and performance, is living proof that this combination of historical genetics with gentle and consistent management is the recipe for the world's most efficient and reliable farm animal. We have reached the end of our journey at the Lake Nowhere Mule and Donkey Farm, and the lasting lesson is a powerful one. In a world dominated by technology, the value of tradition, animal intelligence, and pure genetics remains irreplaceable. The work of the Kidwells here, at what has become a beacon for the American mammoth jackstock, is a tribute to George Washington and the resilience of donkeys and mules. Lake Nowhere ensures that history is not just told, but that it continues to live in the daily work and the lineage of every jack and mule that leaves here for the world. We've seen that Nowhere Lake is, in fact, one of the most important places for genetic preservation and excellence in breeding working animals in the U.S. A true agricultural celebrities farm, where every animal has a story and a purpose dating back centuries. For me, it was an experience of humility and deep learning, understanding why mules and donkeys are revered for their tenacity and wisdom. This journey showed me that strength and efficiency often come with big ears and a sure-footed gait. And now the big question: what did you think of this story? Do you have a mule or donkey in your life, or do you prefer the speed of a horse? Let me know in the comments below. If you fell in love with this story of legendary farms, tradition, and remarkable animals, don't forget to like this video, share it with your farmer friends, and of course, subscribe to the Celebrities Farm channel so you don't miss any of our trips. In our next video, we will continue our exploration of American agribusiness. But we will trade the calmness of the donkeys and mules for the vastness of cattle going inside the largest cattle ranch in Texas. Turn on notifications for that next adventure. I'm Junine Homelo, and I'll see you at the next farm.